The launch of the 2024 school governing body elections in Pretoria by Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga marks a pivotal moment for schools nationwide. Running from March the 1st to March the 31st, these elections are a crucial aspect of the education system, with the requirement for each school to elect a new SGB every 3 years. Now, earlier, Motshekga briefed the media on this. For what came out of that briefing, let's now bring in SABC News reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa for an update.
Well, Unathi, we've just witnessed the official launch and really an explanation as to how long this will take, or the process of electing an SGB at different schools around the country will take. We do understand the importance of this election process. The minister has explained that 20% of schools with an involved SGB tend to do better with schools that don't have one. There are a lot of other issues that have emerged, such as those who try to abuse the SGB process, who are participating in the SGBs in order to gain at a personal level. I'm joined by Gauteng Chief Director for Planning and Monitoring, James Ndlebe. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Now, talk to us about why you've chosen, why have you given schools a month to undergo the election process, and why so long?
Thank you very much for the correction. I'm not from Gauteng. I work for the Department of Basic Education nationally. We have close to 25,000 schools, and we need to give them space and time to prepare for these elections. They do have to create voters' roll. They couldn't have prepared them earlier than now, because admissions have just been completed. There are new learners that are coming in, new parents need to be put on those voters' roll and so on. So the preparation can take a very long time. Schools in the neighborhood may not be conducting elections on the same day because they do share parents in a primary and in a secondary school. So there's also a law that says parents need to be given 14 days notice before the elections take place. So that will cover your whole month.
Okay. And what happens if some schools are unable to still elect an SGB come the end of March?
What happens at the end of March is that all SGBs cease to exist. This is in accordance with the South African Schools Act that dictates that the term of office of all SGBs may not exceed 3 years. So from 2021 to March 2024, that term of office comes to an end. So they need to start wrapping up, preparing handovers. Come 31st, they all step down. So if there hasn't been elections conducted, it will mean there won't be an SGB for a period of time until that those elections are conducted.
Okay. Now, we've also heard about complaints about certain members of the community trying to be a part of these SGBs for various reasons, such as personal gain and so on. How prevalent is this problem, and what sort of measures are being put in place by the department in order to ensure that this doesn't happen?
It's not very prevalent, because if you look at 25,000 schools running elections and you get few complaints about those who claim to be parents and guardians when they are not. There are people who will go to police stations, come up with affidavits to claim that they are parents or guardians of certain children. Now, the process of compiling voters' roll is that process where we clean up the process and we look at really guardians that are guardians. Like, for example, you can't be a guardian of a learner of a parent that is still alive. And it's not about your financial muscles that allow you to be a parent. We want biological parents, or we want those who look after parents if the parents are not there at all, because we want that engagement with somebody, adults. Whether we're talking learner performance, we're talking learner discipline, there must be somebody that looks after that child, and then we scrutinize that. Should we find a person who's not eligible to be an SGB member at whichever period of time, we do remove them. We have the powers to remove them.
Okay. Now, the election process is expected to take place in the month of March, but we do understand that actually coincides with the school holidays. Do you think this could affect the election process in any way?
It may, especially if a school has attempted to conduct its election and they fail to reach a quorum, then they need to do it the second time. It might affect it, but how we tried to do it was to force all schools to start their elections on the first week of March, so that in case they don't meet the 15% threshold, then they're able to set up another date whilst it's still in March.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. There you have it. That is the National Chief Director of Planning and Monitoring with the Department of Basic Education speaking to us and just giving us a better understanding and clarity as to how these elections are going to be really going to be run and the expectations come at the end of March. It's back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Mbalenhle Mthethwa. They're just giving us that update. Of course, as she said, the elections for the SGB will run from March the 1st until the end of the month, March 31st.